Hey, Algebra 2. Today we are going to be talking about Section 2, 1-day 2, vertex form continued. So let's just quickly recap, vertex form. So you should know this by heart now. Vertex form is f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. We don't really have to worry about b. Everything can be written as a vertical dilation. And then this is vertex form because it gives us the vertex, which would be h comma k. Thinking all the way back to Algebra 1, when we talked about quadratics for the first time, you also learned standard form, which is f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And the thing that's neat about standard form is it gives us the y-intercept, which is 0, comma, whatever the c value is. Because if we substitute 0 for x, this will cancel, and we're just left with c. So today we're going to work on going from, if I know the vertex and a point, how to get our answer, and then how to also go to standard form. So given a parabola or a quadratic with a vertex, let's do -4, -24. That passes through -5, -25. Write the equation. In standard form. Okay, so what you cannot do, you can't go straight to vertex form, guys. I mean standard form, excuse me. You have to work your way there. So if we know the vertex and we know a point, we can figure out vertex form. So that is the first step. So step 1, start in vertex form. Because that's the information you're given. You're given a vertex and you're given a point. So we can figure out vertex form of the equation. So, and you substitute in what you know. So if we're given, purple, y equals, we don't know a yet, but we do know the vertex, so x minus h. Here's the vertex. Careful not to mix them up. So plus 4 squared minus 24. So I need to substitute in a point so I can solve for my a value. We are given that point. So I'm going to do -25 equals a times -5 plus 4 squared minus 24. So I'm going to add 24 to both sides. We get -1 equals a times -5 plus 4 is -1. So this will just be 1. So I know that -1 equals a. So now that I have my vertex form equation, I'm going to write that out. We don't have to put a 1 here because -1 will just make it negative. So I'm going to have x plus 4 squared minus 24. And the second thing we're going to do, now that we have our vertex form, is we are going to expand what we're going to solve for standard form. And to do that, we first expand. So what I mean by that is if this is being squared, that means that we have to write x plus 4 times x plus 4. It is not the same as x squared plus 16. So please make sure you expand. That is a very, very common mistake that students continue to make throughout all of high school, really. Okay, so we expand, and then we're going to double distribute. So we distribute these first, so I'm going to just bring down the negative. X times x is x squared. I guess I'll show a little bit more work than usual, so we get plus 4x. 4 times x is another 4x. Usually I just combine those, and then 4 times 4 is 16. Here's another mistake. Students forget to bring down that minus 24. Now we cannot combine these yet because we need to distribute this. We also can combine these like terms. I'm going to combine the like terms first. And then distribute. So negative x squared minus 8x minus 16. Bring down that minus 24. Now I can combine all of this. So my final answer is negative x squared minus 8x, and negative 16 minus 24 is negative 40. So be careful. The common mistakes are to distribute the exponent, but that is not a thing. You can't do that. You need to expand it, and some teachers call this FOILing, like first, outer, inner, last. It's just distributing with two terms. Then you need to distribute this order of operations before you can combine here, so be careful. All right, let's do one more example, and we'll make it a word problem. All right. Make sure you write down the whole thing. I know it's a lot of words, but... All right, a diagram shows the path. The diagram shows the path of a model rocket launched from the ground, launched from the ground, period. Okay. It reaches a max altitude. It reaches a max altitude of 384 feet, 16 seconds after launching. And hits the ground after 32 seconds. Write the equation. Write the quadratic equation. In vertex form. Alrighty, so first things first, we need to look at what we're given. And we are given 2 points, so First of all, we are given the max. So the max is going to be the vertex. So time, right, determines the height. So the coordinate point will be 16, 384. So that's the vertex. Then we're given that it hits the ground. So that means the height is 0. And after, the height is 0. So that's the y value. Right. So 32, 0. So we're also given the x-intercept. And then, because we have 2 points, we can now figure out the equation. So we know you could call this, right, a classic model is h of t, because this is the height, and then we're dependent on time. So same, x minus h squared plus k. Substitute in what we know. So I could just substitute everything in. 0 for my height here. I'm going to solve for. My x value is 32, right? Because this is x, y, and this is h, k. So then it's minus 16 plus 384. Alright, let's get to it. So I'm going to subtract over this. So I have negative 384. 32 minus 16 is positive 16. 16 squared is 256. And then I'm going to divide both sides, and that reduces to be negative 3/2. And so my equation will be y equals negative 3/2 times x minus 16 squared plus 384. That's it. And then that was our answer. Cool.